$945,000. That's the staggering amount someone just paid for a computer that's older than most of us. But this isn't just any computer. It's a piece of tech history, hand-built by Apple co-founder Steve Jobs himself. In the next few minutes, we'll dive into why this ancient machine commanded. Hope you're ready to dive into a piece of tech history, because $945,000, that's almost $1 million, was just shelled out for a computer older than most of us. This is an APPLE-1, the very first computer ever sold by Apple, and it was hand-built by Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak in a California garage in 1976. So why does a machine with specs laughably low by today's standards go for such a high price? Let's break down exactly what makes this computer so special. The APPLE-1 is where the story of Apple truly begins. Back in 1976, computers were massive, complex, and generally inaccessible for the average person. They were mostly confined to labs or big institutions, and building or even using a computer was a feat that required some serious technical know-how. Jobs and Wozniak changed that vision with the APPLE-1, designed with the intention to bring computing power to a personal level. Wozniak single-handedly designed the APPLE-1, focusing on simplicity, elegance, and usability. Jobs saw the business potential and convinced Wozniak to sell the computer. Together, they hand-built around 200 APPLE-1 units, which were then sold to a small group of enthusiasts and hobbyists. It's estimated that fewer than 80 APPLE-1 units still exist today, and among those, only about 60 are in a condition that can be displayed or used. Now you might ask, why does an outdated, bare-bones computer like this fetch such a high value? For collectors and investors, it's not just about specs or functionality, it's about history. The APPLE-1 represents the birth of the personal computer era and the starting point of one of the most valuable companies in the world today. It's a tangible symbol of innovation, ambition, and the early days of Silicon Valley. For tech enthusiasts and historians, the APPLE-1 isn't just an old computer, it's a piece of art, a collector's item, and a treasure. Holding or even seeing an APPLE-1 is like stepping back in time to when technology was in its infancy. In the broader world of collectibles, tech artifacts are beginning to hold their own against more traditional forms of collectible art and antiques. We've already seen rare video game cartridges, vintage calculators, and early gaming consoles sell for incredible sums. There's also a growing interest among investors who view items like the APPLE-1 as alternative assets. It's a new way to diversify portfolios and tap into something with cultural significance. And the way technology has changed our lives makes these artifacts especially meaningful, beyond just their dollar value. Tech items like the APPLE-1 stand as markers of progress, as symbols of how we got to where we are now. Plus, the legacy of Steve Jobs himself adds another layer of allure to this piece. Jobs wasn't just a tech entrepreneur. He became a global icon whose vision transformed industries from computers to smartphones. An APPLE-1 is the ultimate artifact for a fan of Steve Jobs, a rare chance to own something he personally touched and helped bring to life. It's a direct connection to one of the most influential figures in modern history. So, what does all of this mean for the future of tech collectibles? With digital technology advancing so quickly, and with companies like Apple continually innovating, it's likely we'll see other early tech artifacts become prized collectibles. From first-generation iPhones to original Macintosh computers, these items may one day hold similar value to the APPLE-1, as they represent key turning points in tech history. As technology continues to reshape our lives, the artifacts of its early days become even more precious. The value of these items isn't just about nostalgia or novelty, it's about honoring the visionaries who saw potential in something that, at the time, few others did. It's about recognizing that the devices we take for granted today were once bold experiments in garages and basements, driven by passion, curiosity, and a desire to change the world. So next time you see a piece of tech from decades past, remember, it might just be the next big-ticket collectible in the making. Whether you're a fan of Apple, a lover of tech history, or simply curious about what makes an old machine valuable, there's something special about looking back at where it all began. Thanks for joining me on this journey through the origins of tech and the world of high-stakes collectibles. If you enjoyed this deep dive, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more tech stories, and let me know in the comment. Would you ever pay that kind of money for a piece of tech history? See you next time.